What? What? Why are you telling me this now?
I know you all are here to see Lorella because who doesn't love to see Lorella? She's fantastic, right? Well, today I am excited that I get to kidnap her for the day. Meet Stella.
Oh wait, that's Stella. So this one is mine.
Who's this?
This is Kenai. The reason is because I am from Alaska.
How did I not know that?
Because I've lived in many, many places. But I spent my junior high and high school years in Alaska, and my parents lived there until my dad retired in around 2003, I think. So I still consider that home, even though I've lived in other places longer, but that's just like the place I remember as home. And in Alaska, the old timers, people who have been there a really long time, are called sourdoughs. So I thought that, like,
I love that.
as a throwback, a respect, a call out to my
Your home.
Yeah, to my home, that I would have Kenai.
I love that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so I had Sally. Sally took a tragic death recently. So we revived Sally from a dehydrated starter. So now we have Stella. And so now we have Kenai to go with Stella.
So if I share anybody with this, I can like write out a sourdough pedigree.
Yes, there needs to be a pedigree.
So you were telling me that Kenai and Sally are not growing quite like they should. Stella, sorry.
Yeah, so they should double in size. So I leave the elastic band so you know where it is.
Gotcha.
So when you feed it, you take half out and then you feed it. I feed it 100 grams of flour and 100 grams of water.
Okay.
If you don't have a scale,
I
don't
use a
do that.
measuring cup.
So it's about a half a cup of water, half a cup of whatever, flour. So they're supposed to double in size.
And yes, go ahead. That's what I was gonna ask.
Within a certain, like within
24 hours or something?
No, like 5-6 hours.
Oh, okay, right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so this has only been revived from dehydration less than a week. And it's just not bubbling like it should. It still has beautiful bubbles in it. And I fed it this morning, but I would feed it tonight. So I am not an expert on this, even though maybe I pretend to be. Just kidding, I don't pretend to be. So I need to do some research on how to, for lack of better words, make it more happy. So
happy food tastes better.
Happy food tastes better. So it just needs a little bit of help, but it's a good start. Steve was amazing, so I'm hoping Stella. This is an offspring of Steve, you know, because I dehydrated
Yours are all
Steve.
S names.
Yeah, they are. So yeah, we just need to do research and see how to make it more bubbly.
Gotcha.
So I feel bad that it's not like a beautiful active starter.
Okay, so let's talk about what are some benefits. So a lot of people who watch my channel are people who are thinking about homesteading that aren't there yet. So why is sourdough such a staple in the homesteader world? Why does everybody want sourdough? And not everybody, but what are there any health benefits to it? Is it just easier to make than regular bread?
It is not easier to make.
What? Why are you telling me this now?
So it's easy, but it's more time consuming.
Okay.
Because you have to let it ferment on the counter.
Do you have to knead it like regular dough?
I knead it for 8 minutes.
Oh.
So in my mixer. So I can do whatever, yeah. So the thing is, you have to start it the night before.
Okay.
And so that's where my downfall is like I'm tired at night. I go to bed. And so you need to start it around 8 or 9 at night. I'm putting kids to bed. So I forget. But other than that, it's pretty easy. It's just you have to babysit it more. That's why I name it. It's my child.
Now, when I did have sourdough before, you can, once your sourdough is thriving, you can put it in the fridge and save it for a couple weeks without, so you do not have to necessarily, because it's just Chris and I, we're not going to need a loaf every other week, or, you know, I mean, this would make a lot of bread by the time it's like going and going.
I've heard you're supposed to feed it once a week. Is it?
I think it's once a week. I think it's weekly.
Yeah.
But I think that if you put it in the fridge, you don't have to feed it.
You have to feed it once a week. You feed it every day if it's on your counter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, every day on your counter. But I believe it. I could be wrong, but I think it's once a week if it's in the fridge.
I'll find out. Anyway, so if you're like, I cannot commit to caring for myself daily, let alone
that's why
make the starter bread. You can refrigerate it for a while, an amount of time. we'll look it up and I'll like write it right across our faces.
Very good.
So,
And it will make what's called hooch on the top, and you just pour that off. Some people just mix it right back in. It doesn't matter.
and some recipes call for that. So like I have seen, I think a sourdough pancake recipe where you didn't actually use the starter, but you used the hooch from it. Like just to, I guess it just gave it that sourdoughy flavor. I don't know.
It's just the alcohols from the sourdough. So for us, the reason why we sourdough is I have a child that has a gluten intolerance, and we've not tested her for celiacs, but she gets very sick if she eats gluten, but she can eat sourdough. So that's really, I can't have gluten.
And do you
either.
make it from the same like regular wheat flour in your sourdough? It's not a gluten-free flour.
No, same wheat flour. And so for me, it's super important that
So
I
she has
ferment.
like a sensitivity as opposed to you.
I've tried to eat it and it makes me sick, so I can't. But yeah,
Sad.
so it is sad. It's super important that we ferment for at least 12 hours.
Gotcha. So that fermentation process, for lack of a better word, deconstructs the gluten or whatever it is that causes her to have issues.
Yeah, so it is really nice because I make a sprouted wheat bread, but she gets sad that she wants nice bread too, and so she gets pretty excited when I do make bread. I don't like to bake in the summer, it's just too dang hot.
Yeah, it is hot.
But it's dumb because you bake in the summer and then your bread will rise faster.
Oh.
But I don't want to cook in the summer. So and that's kind
Do
of
you
why
ever
Steve
freeze
does
your
too.
loaves?
Yes.
Like after you bake them so that you can have like do multiples at a time?
Yeah, but my mixer's too small, so I can only do 2 at a time. It's kind of dumb.
I have the same mixer you do,
Yeah.
but in white.
Yeah, I
It
struggle.
would be nice to have that big industrial one.
But so sourdough, it is a little bit more work, but it's a fermented food, and so it's more of an
So you're
ancient food.
getting the benefits of fermentation just like you would from kombucha or kefir or sauerkraut, one of those kind of foods.
So it's, you know, you
I'd
think
rather
of
eat that than sauerkraut.
either.
I really tried hard to like sauerkraut. I made sauerkraut and every time I took a bite, I just like my face kind of turned inside of itself.
There was one dish I liked sauerkraut in, but that's about it.
I might try again. I really want to like it because it's so good for you. But sourdough is probably gonna be a little bit more pleasant way to eat it.
And you just think anything that's ancient, anything that happened that they ate before modern world took over is better for you. Really, we killed our food.
Sure. Right. So you're not having all the additives and the processing and all of that. Yeah.
I mean, even sprouting your own grains. You know, when you sprout the grain before you mill it, it becomes pre-digested before you even eat it. And so it unlocks an amount of nutrition that you don't get. So our ancestors sprouted everything, and we don't anymore. So from what I understand, is if you're going to eat wheat, it should be sprouted wheat. You should not consume wheat unless it's sprouted. And whole wheat is not better for you than white because your body doesn't know how to digest it unless it's sprouted. And so a white wheat, it's been broken down and it's not necessarily good for you, but your body processes it better than whole grain unsprouted wheat.
I'm just learning this. Who else is just learning this? Put a comment down there below and let me know that I'm not alone.
Well, and
If I've heard this before, I don't remember hearing it, but I may have.
Well, and if anybody disagrees with me, let me know. Let us know. You know, I'm not an expert on this. This is just what I've learned and what I.
No, you're probably right. I just hadn't heard it before, but it makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a hard thing that our bodies don't know what to do with it. So I sprout my own wheat, I dehydrate it, and then I store it, and then I mill it.
All right, Kenai, can you say goodbye to your mom, sister, cousin?
So hopefully we can get them.
Stella!
My kids' name.
Stella!
So I'm excited to see if we can both get.
Should have named it Rocky. I mean,
Adrian!
oh wait, what's Stella?
Stella's-
Oh, that's a whole different.
Yeah,
thing.
it's a different. Adrian's Rocky. When we put all the hay in the barn, I said to Jonah, "You should stand on the top and yell Adrian." He didn't do it.
I'm cutting that whole section out because I'm dumb.
No, you're not dumb.
Well, Stella, it's Adrian. Okay.
Awesome.
We'll throw that in at the end for the end screen. Anybody who's waited this long to the end screen, you're the only ones who gets to see that.